What's going on YouTube? This is Mike D DIY, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to vacuum a pool. Okay, so as you can see, the bottom of this pool definitely needs some attention. Okay, so I started out by skimming the pool, getting everything off the top that's floating around. And this is the vacuum head that I use, nothing special. I got it from Walmart, 20 bucks maybe, 20, 30 bucks. I've had it for a few years now. As you can see, I had to kind of customize the way it attaches to the pole that I use. So I brushed it yesterday, did a whole whirlpool. I was hoping everything would settle in the middle. Usually it does when you are in the pool and make a whirlpool, but it didn't work out that way. That's fine. So I brushed it yesterday to loosen everything. My pool is also balanced. The pH, the chlorine level, cyanuric acid, everything is good. So that's very important when you're messing with the pool. You always want it to be balanced because otherwise you can start having issues like algae. So everything's balanced. We're gonna go ahead and put the vacuum attachment on the pole. Head attached to the pole. Usually it's nice and easy. Like the net has just a couple of tabs to squeeze. And it clicks right into place, but mine's a little custom because that plastic piece broke off one year, I think 2 years ago, or last year. So anyway, I just use this bolt, works fine. No need to get a new one. So that's that. All right, so grab your hose, keep it off the ground. I usually just toss it right in the pool. Obviously keep a hold of it so you don't accidentally let it float off. Okay, so I also like to have this on hand. So that way if anything comes off the hose, any chunks of stuff like grass or dirt, you can just quickly get it out. Good to go. And when attaching the vacuum hose onto the vacuum, a very rookie mistake that I made my first year having a pool was the swivel end. I accidentally put this on the pump side and air gets in the system, it doesn't vacuum right. So the swivel, it even says right on there, this side to vacuum head. Go ahead and put it on. And I go ahead and I just throw that right in the water. I let the head sink down. And then I just work the hose. I work the hose along the edge of the pool and get all the air out of it and then plug it into the pump. Okay, so as you can see, I have a temp pool, a temporary pool. This one, I believe is a Coleman. Yeah, it's a Coleman, 22 foot by 52 inches. So it comes with a cartridge filter that really is not that great. I had a really hard time 3 years ago with our first pool. The cartridges they don't work very well. So I went on Amazon and I got this sand filter, which actually works a lot better for when you're vacuuming your pool. It works better for filtration and all of that. So I highly recommend if you get a temporary pool like this one, Intex, Coleman, whatever, do yourself a favor, get a sand filter. They're just so much better. And the first thing you want to do when attaching your vacuum line to your pump is shut it off. Mine has a controller right here, but it kind of crapped out after a storm last year. So I actually went on YouTube, watched a video on how to bypass the controller. So when you plug it in, the pump just runs. So I'm not telling you to ever do that. I took it upon myself because I'm an electrician, so I know how to mess with electrical. Anyway, I keep this case snapped over the connection. Keeps it nice and dry. This one's kind of getting old. I've had it for 4 years, about 4 years. So it does let a little moisture in now, but it protects the connection very well. That way you don't have any risk of shock. I'm plugged into a GFCI, so it could trip the GFCI. It'll corrode the connection. So these are very nice to have when you have outdoor connections. You can get them at Home Depot for, I think it's like 10 or 20 bucks. So you want to go ahead, unplug the pump or shut it off. And I'm going to go to close. So I went ahead and put my pump in the closed position. This one has closed, backwash, recirculate, rinse, filter, and waste. So when we're vacuuming the pool, we're going to be just going on filter in this case because there's just some leaves and stuff like that. You could backwash any of the fine stuff out afterwards. If you had like heavy algae, you would want to vacuum to waste. But that's a whole different video. If you guys would like to see that, I can make that video, possibly. But that's a whole separate issue. So anyway, put it in the closed position. And I am going to be connecting right here. So I need to undo this connection, but in order to undo this, I need to plug this port. This port over here, I already have plugged off because I have this skimmer basket. I want everything to go through the skimmer basket. It just helps me a lot because I'm out in the woods and there's a ton of bugs, ton of leaves, ton of pine needles, just so much stuff falls in this pool, it's unbelievable. So I run everything through the basket. It just makes my life a lot easier. This pool would look a lot worse if I didn't have it set up the way I did. So I'm gonna start by removing the hose that goes to the skimmer basket. And I have some plugs right here that I keep out here on hand just for this. So I'm gonna stick this plug in the hole. That way I can undo this connection and not lose a ton of water. So also you can loosen this up, relieve some pressure. So go ahead, just undo this. Residual water is going to fall out, not a big deal. We have our hose that we got all the water out of previously, and I just quickly up and over. It plugs right in. And as you can see, I have this tied off to hold it up, otherwise you're going to be fighting it. If this thing's on the ground, it could come unplugged, you could have issues. So I have mine hanging up, works well. Tighten this back up, and we're ready to fire it up. When you first plug in the pump or turn it on, you're going to start sucking water through the pump and back out. Make sure, because previously you had closed this, you go to filter. That way you don't ruin your pump. And when you first start up the vacuum, you can have a lot of air come through the system. So you have to watch it for a few minutes. And then if there's air, shut it off, bleed out the air, turn it back on, and I'll show you that right now. So we're sucking some water. As you can see, air is starting to go in there. It's not so bad, but you never want to let that run dry. You can ruin your pump. So I'll let it go for a minute. Seems to be pretty steady, so I'm gonna shut it off, loosen this, let the air out, tighten it back, plug it back in. And I just want to make sure there's no air in the system because I'm going to start on the other end of the pool, and if I'm having issues over here, I'm not going to be able to hear it or see it, so I like to watch it for a minute, make sure everything's good, and then go ahead and vacuum.
Hey guys, so I stopped a couple times in this video to talk, and the first time was pretty much just to tell you that when you're vacuuming, just to make sure you go nice and slow, take your time, because if you go too fast, you're going to just stir up a lot of debris, and your vacuum isn't going to work as well. And as I was vacuuming, I also put down the vacuum and walked around to the pump just to check on the pressure gauge. Because if the pressure gauge is showing that you're in the yellow range, that means the pump isn't working as effectively. You want to make sure you stay in the green. And I had to do a backwash twice while vacuuming this time. So just keep an eye on the pressure gauge. Make sure you vacuum nice and slow, and it should work effectively.
Okay guys, and sometimes when you're vacuuming, this trap right here, this strainer, gets full of leaves and stuff. So you're gonna have to empty it once in a while. So you just have to disconnect the vacuum hose, don't lose it. I just stick it right in the strainer up there. And loosen this, and you can take the ring right off. This is in the closed position, so water doesn't come in from the outlet. And you can look at all the junk and get it all out. You can actually allow some water in by just popping it up. Kind of get the rest of the junk that's in the bottom out. Just let some water flow. This in, rinse it out. Back to closed. Looks clear. Put the ring back on. The top back on. Leave the air bleeder in the loose position, so you can put this back together. Try to let some of the air bleed out, which it looks like it did, so I'm going to tighten it. I'm going to go from closed back to filter, plug it in, and get the air out again and keep vacuuming. One very important thing to keep in mind is never move this handle when this is on. You can ruin the mechanism inside the pump. You can just mess things up. So don't move the handle unless it's de-energized. Okay guys, thank you for watching. That is how to vacuum a pool. One thing to keep in mind, so if you look back to the beginning of the video, you'll notice that on the bottom there was a lot of gray, tannish looking stuff. Honestly, not sure what it is. But I noticed when I was vacuuming that it was very fine, because as I was pushing the vacuum, it was puffing up along the edges and getting sucked in. So to me, it kind of looks like my pool is slightly cloudy. So what I'm going to do, my next steps are test my chlorine level right now after I'm done with this video. And as long as I'm good, I'm just going to keep an eye on the pool to see if anything settles to the bottom again. And in that case, what I should have done is vacuum to waste. The only reason why I didn't start with vacuuming to waste is because it drains your pool. And then you have to drag the hose out, you have to fill it up more, and then you have to rebalance everything. So I like to start with vacuuming to filter, which is fine for all the leaves and the big stuff. That's perfectly fine. But in this case, I mean, it just looks slightly cloudy. So I think things are going to settle, and I'm going to have to vacuum to waste. And especially if you have algae, you want to vacuum to waste. So hopefully I made the mistake to show you how to not make the mistake. And once again, thank you for watching. That's how to vacuum the pool.